Well, hello and welcome to Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. This is Karishma, and thank you both of the gentlemen for joining me, Vaseem and Deep. Today, Delhi will take on Hyderabad. It looks like quite an important match for Delhi, or maybe is it too early to say that it could be a do or die game? Is this win is very crucial for the Capitals? So I'll start with you, Vaseem.
Well, I think they need to win at least 4 out of 5 games, Karishma. So it's going to the wire, and they can't afford any slip up. Last game they lost to LSG by 6 runs, which was a close game. I think Mitchell Marsh walking in that game probably hurt them the way he was batting, but they've come into that category where they can't afford any more slip ups. Sunrisers have a little bit of breathing space. I would say they need to win 3 out of 5. But again, we have come to the business end of the tournament. Any slip up here, will be, struggle for any team for that matter. Anybody who's in the race, they are going to struggle.
Absolutely. Deep, what do you think made Delhi see such a roller coaster ride in this tournament with such a, great caliber on paper?
Hmm. True. I mean, listen, this format is like that where it's going to be tough to get some consistency going. But I guess the performances, if you look at Delhi performances right through this tournament, it's been up and down, whether it's as a team and also as individuals. Very rarely there has been a consistent performer, so to say. And so that's one of the major reasons. And this particular games, and from here on, actually, uh, any of these games are going to be more often than not 4 point games. These are, even though, for example, especially for Delhi, it's not just about them getting 2 points. You're also stopping somebody ahead of you to
Yeah.
get 2 points. So effectively, these are 4 point games from here on, right?
Mm.
And that is the reason I think, especially where Delhi is right now, it's imperative for them to kind of win all these games, and especially against teams that they are in direct competition with.
Hmm. Fair enough. Let's look at the points table and see how everyone is placed. Delhi is 2 points away from crossing Punjab and Hyderabad to stand at number 5, which is a better position for them, right, Vaseem?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hyderabad have lost two. Then they got on to that run where they won 5 in a row, and then they lost two again. So they again, the momentum, got a break. So they need to get going as well, and so is Delhi. And Delhi will be happy that they are playing at Braeburn because they won 3 out of their 4 games at Braeburn. So they'll be in that happy place playing in Braeburn. So I hope, and they look a better side. I mean, if I can say so, even though they lost the last game with their openers not firing, but they'll be happy that Mitchell Marsh has got a little bit of form. Rishabh Pant, is looking good. Rockman Powell has been a positive. So I think looking good at the moment. But again, like I said, you don't need any more slip ups.
Yeah.
Their openers have to fire. Prithvi has to take a little bit of responsibility. A lot of teams come with a plan of bowling short to him with a field set, and he's got out 3 to 4 times, pulling the ball. So he's a quality player. It's imperative that he gets going. Because when he gets runs, then Warner can take his time, and then obviously the other guys get a good start, and then you can post a big score. So both the openers, I feel, they are very very important going forward for Delhi Capitals.
Absolutely. Deep. On the other hand, we have Hyderabad, who's coming back from two back-to-back losses. Are they
Yeah.
willing to command their place, at the table?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. Hyderabad is kind of reflection how of Kane Williamson, the leader, how he leads the New Zealand side. So these are like a team which is coming together and playing as a unit. They took the first couple of games, to kind of gel together, figure out who plays what position or what role. Then those five back-to-back games, last couple of games again, listen, as good as they have played, but if you look on paper,
Mm.
you fancy Delhi more than Hyderabad, and some of the other teams as well more than Hyderabad, right? But I think they've been punching above their weight, is what I think, and that just tells you how important it is to play as a unit, play as a group, which Hyderabad over the years have done so well. But today it's going to be interesting to see one whether Washington Sundar is available, because they dearly missed him in the last game. He couldn't
Yeah.
bowl. He had to bat at number 7, 8, and obviously was handicapped with that injury. So one
Mm.
is that, and also I believe Natarajan has a niggle as well. So hopefully things are all right for both of them.
Hopefully. Okay, so gentlemen, before we discuss any player battle today, let's discuss the one battle that every fan must be eyeing up, and that is David Warner versus Hyderabad. Like we were just discussing, we all know what happened in the last season. Warner was made to feel not required by Hyderabad. What kind of mindset will Warner
Hmm.
have going in tonight's? Uh,
Uh, I think, Karishma, I think they all are professional. I think it, as far as I think Warner is concerned, he'll obviously want to do well. I don't think you need to prove anything. David
yeah,
Warner is a world-class player. He doesn't need to prove that, if he scores runs in this game, he becomes a great player or anything. I think it's a long time ago, but yeah, definitely he wants to perform against SRH and he would like to beat them, considering, where they are playing this game at the time of the, IPL. But I think they are professional. Whatever has happened, he had some terrific times in
mm,
SRH. But things did fall apart in the last season, and that wasn't very pleasant for both the parties. Whether it
yeah,
was for SRH or even for David Warner, he didn't have a great season. But I think he's looking for a fresh start. He did start well at this tournament. So being such a professional that he is, I don't think he'll be too harsh to do well. I think we all are pretty professional, and he would like to move on from that.
absolutely. Deep, seeing Warner is in such a great form right now, do you think do you think he's a dangerous man for his previous home team?
Oh, definitely yes. I mean, irrespective, it's Hyderabad or any other team, Warner in good form or even not.
Yeah.
Even though he's not in good form, but it's just maybe one shot away from getting into form, especially in this format. So yeah, obviously he's extremely dangerous, and as Wasim mentioned, I mean, listen, obviously professional. The team obviously is set up. They've let him go, but I think the way things panned out last season, there was a lot of bitterness. As much as you would want to forget and start afresh, I think back of your head you would have that extra bit of fire, both sides, not just from players, but you would still be like, I've got to get runs, and I don't know. I mean, that can work either ways. That can put extra pressure on you, or you can be like a little more watchful in your approach. So I don't know how it's going to pan out, but yes, I'm sure both the sides would want to forget it. But it's so fresh because we're not actually talking about a year. We're talking about 5 months. It's also not been that long back. So it'll be interesting though. It'll be interesting. I mean, listen, what's life without a little bit of drama?
Oh, we love all the drama. Talking about drama, let's talk about Hyderabad's bowling unit, which is so far the best in the tournament with Umran Malik, Marco Jensen, Bhuvi, and Natarajan. And we saw Hyderabad bowled out Bangalore on 68 runs on the pitch of Brabourne. Wasim, how impressed are you with them?
Karishma, they've been absolutely brilliant. Apart from that first couple of games where they couldn't get the combination right, but I think after that they've been absolutely brilliant. The way when Marco Jansen came into the side, he brought a lot of freshness with the new ball. Natarajan also has been terrific with the new ball. We all know what he can do in the death,
Yeah.
but he's picking up wickets at the start also, and then Bhuvi is such a seasoned campaigner. So he's doing what he does, and then Umran Malik has got better with every game, and that is good to see. Even though he
Mm,
didn't had a great game in the last game, Ruturaj took him apart, but that's what you expect. That a youngster to bounce back, and I think he will bounce back. Braybron pitch, I think will help him. I think that will be a good pitch to bowl to, and they are pretty good bowling unit. All four of them. So you would expect a better performance from them.
fair enough. Deep, since we know how packed Hyderabad's lineup is, do we see any changes in the squad?
I don't see, apart from forced changes, as I mentioned, maybe a couple of those changes, and there will be. I mean, those changes will be huge, and especially if it's Natarajan. Wasim mentioned it before as well. I mean, Death overs, yes, but even, I mean, his 4 overs are extremely, extremely crucial. I think he's in the top five wicket takers at this point in time. So that's how crucial he is.
Mm.
So yeah, one is that. Secondly, yeah, about Washington Sundar, because I think he was rushed into in the last game, because we are talking about his right hand, which is his top hand with the batting, and also his bowling arm. So I think it was his thumb webbing, which I got. He's got a few stitches there. So maybe he might not be there, and yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough call. Apart from that, I really don't see any changes per se, because they've been playing good cricket in the last few games. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, Vaseem, for Delhi, according to Rishabh, Nokia is practicing well. Do you think he'll be back very soon as they are missing him?
Well, I don't know if he's found his fitness, if he's found his rhythm, and there's no practice games, Karishma.
Mm.
So it's very very hard to judge him on the practice that that happens. So it's entirely their call. And since I said that it's such an important week and such an important time in the IPL, do you
Hmm.
want to make any changes?
Mm.
That's one thing. Khalil had done really, really well for them. So, I think if he's fit, I think he comes back for me. But
Mm.
other than that, I don't see any changes. Otherwise, because he's an overseas player, you would need to sit another overseas or something like that. So you want to do that at such an important game, such an important clash. So I'll be surprised that they'll force him back into it, unless obviously he's bowling really, really well in the nets.
Okay. Deep, do you think there'll be any changes for Delhi?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Nokia, again, if he's 100% fit, and he thinks that he's 100% fit, because the thing is, the issue with Delhi so far has been there's been performances in patches from individuals. So you can't say that somebody's not playing well because they're playing well in one and not in two. So it
Mm.
has been hot and cold. So it's very difficult to say that the players are not in form, right? So that's a big challenge there, because every now and then, obviously, they're playing good cricket. With Nokia, is, as Wasim said, that 100% fitness is very, very important. And then, do you want to take a chance at this point in time?
Yeah.
And the other way to look at it is, they need 4 wins out of 5. If they
Yeah.
have to make a change, it has to be now, right? After this would be too late. So it's a catch-22 situation, because the person we are talking about is Andrik Nokia, who's been a proven match winner for them. So
Mm.
it's a difficult one, but I would say, if you're not 100% confident, don't change it. Let it
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Fair enough. So Kane Williamson, he has been captaining very well, winning tosses, winning games. But what about him as an opener, Vaseem?
Well, I think he hasn't found his form, has he? I mean, he's batted for a while, but he hasn't batted aggressively, Karishma, and that has been the problem. Uh, so I don't know. I don't see anybody else opening other than him also, because Rahul Tripathi has done really well at number three. You've got Markram at four, Puran at five. So honestly don't see anybody else coming in, but Ken Williamson to bat a little bit better, little bit more aggressively, I would say. Other than that, I don't think there's any problem, to be honest. He's just batting a little bit conservatively because he wants to take the game till 14th, 15th over himself. Because after Nicholas Puran, they have got very inexperienced batting lineups. That puts a little bit of pressure that, these guys need to bat bulk of the overs. So, which is understandable. But at some times, it puts a lot of pressure on the other guys. So, they need to find out. I mean, Kane Williamson need to find out, which is the best way to go forward, because he's such an important player in that lineup, and he can't be batting at 100 strike rate in that power play. So he needs to
No.
probably move it up and find a little bit of aggressiveness, especially in the first six. After that, he can pace his innings accordingly, but especially in that power play, I feel.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at the numbers tracker powered by Sky247.net. Where is the numbers tracker? I'm waiting for the numbers tracker. There we go. There you have it. Highest batting average against Delhi. Deep, if you can just take us through this.
Right. I mean, wow. I mean, that's very, very impressive. That's outstanding. In fact, 61.13 against, and that too in a T20 game. And generally, apart from this year, Kane Williamson's strike rate hasn't been that questionable. Generally, you would go at what, 125, 130. So average of 61 and 123, or rather 125, 130 strike rate is absolutely brilliant. Now, obviously, I mean, things are, it seems like a little different this season for Kane, obviously, because of his elbow injury. He's missed a lot of cricket last year, year and a half. Not too sure whether he's, recovered completely or not. That's the other question that I have. But again, I could have understood Kane Williamson playing that way in the first two, three games where the other batters weren't contributing enough. But because the others are contributing, he doesn't have to take that extra pressure. You've got Aiden Markram, Tripathi, Abhishek Sharma. All these guys are contributing. Nicholas Puran. You got to give him some more responsibility because going by how he's batted for West Indies in the last 6 8 months in a leadership role, obviously it suits him. So so he can afford to play a lot more freely now that the others are doing well or batting well and contributing.
Okay, on the other hand, let's take a look at Rishabh Pant. He's never scored a 50 in this season, but has had some brilliant figures. Vaseem, what do you expect from Rishabh today? As you can see, these are his averages.
Well, I think he's obviously far better player than that Karishma, and he hasn't lit up the IPL as yet. The kind of player that he is, you would expect. Those are decent numbers. But with Rishabh Pant, the way he's performed in the Test matches, in the ODIs lately, you would expect Rishabh Pant to be in that category of 500, 600 runs player, and he hasn't done so. Being such an important part of that batting lineup. And he's shifted numbers. He's batted at three, he's batted at four, he's come at number five also. So he hasn't been at one place. And the captainship as well. I mean, some of the moves have, surprised me, like not bowling Kuldeep Yadav, not finishing his quota when he's got 4 overs. So those have been a little surprising. Sending Roman Powell sometime at number three, and that controversial decision of that no ball, and he's asking the team to come out, his batters to come out. So you don't want to see that. Somebody who you're looking at as a future captain, you don't want to make that kind of too many tactical mistakes. I can understand that no ball issue. It can happen at the heat of the moment. But those tactical moves where you don't bowl your best bowlers, you're sending Roman Powell and you don't send Sarfaraz Khan, all those things. So you would expect, I personally expect him to be, a lot better because he's got such a good seat in the stump. And batting point of view as well. He hasn't lit up the IPL so far, and I expect him to do that because this format suits Rishabh Pant. So,
Yeah.
if any time you want him to, come good, at this time in the last 5 games, such a crucial part, and you want Rishabh Pant to contribute and take his team into the playoffs. That is what I expect from him.
Fair enough. Okay, Deep, let's take a move
Can
to
I
the.
can I just add to
Yeah.
that?
Sure.
Add to that Rishabh Pant thing is, for me, he's an impact player, and it's been what, 9 games so far. Can you remember an impactful inning so far? So for someone like Rishabh, I'm all right if he doesn't score 500, 600 runs. But someone like him, at least I expect him to win games. Even though he's not consistent enough, he's an impactful player.
Yeah.
But apart from one innings where he got a 40, at that too, the team didn't win, if I'm not wrong. Delhi didn't win. It was a third game or something. So what I expect from him more than runs is impact, winning games, finishing off games. And that has been a little disappointing as far as I'm concerned. I know the captaincy burden, you tend to think a little differently because you tend to take a little more responsibility, want to bat with more responsibility. And that's the reason maybe first 3 4 games we saw his strike rate was as low as 110 or 115. But in essence, he is an impactful player, right? He's not for me, but that's how I see it. He's not a KL Rahul who will get you 500 runs, or a Shikhar Dhawan who's going to get you 400, 500 runs every season. For me, he might get you 300, but out of those 300, 200 would be in match winning causes.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that I expect of him, and I haven't seen enough. And captaincy could play a part. Like I said, might be looking at taking more responsibility, maybe playing a little differently. But end of the day, for me, he's an impactful player, and I don't think he's made enough impact so far.
Yeah, I mean, do you
Yeah.
think it is captaincy, Vaseem? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, how
I
they
mean,
saw.
people look at him, Karishma, as a somebody who's going to captain in the future. So it should not affect him. He's led teams. It's not his first season captain as an IPL. So he's had experience. He's captain in the first class team. So he's used to that, leadership role.
Mm,
And I completely agree with Deepdas. You need Rishabh Pant to win you at least, 4 to 5 games in an IPL, and he hasn't done that for a lot of times. I mean, if you get even last season, he hasn't been at the end, finishing
mm,
games, and that has been surprising. Somebody who bats number 4, number 5, even for the Indian T20 international team, he hasn't done that quite a lot, and that is a little bit of worry
yeah,
there. So you want to see
yeah,
Rishabh
deliver.
Pant, yeah, for him, for Delhi Capitals for now, to at least finish couple of games or at least 2 3 games, going forward.
Hmm. Okay, the next player that we're going to talk about, it's Nicholas Puran versus Shardul Thakur. A one-sided affair for Thakur. He got Puran 3 times in 8 balls and leaked just 3 runs. Deep, I'll start with you on this battle.
Yeah. Listen, the one player I've been really disappointed in the last 2 years of the tournament has been Nicholas Puran, because I think he's one of the better batters in world cricket right now. And it's not that he's not in good form.
Mm,
Against India, he did well. Before that, against England, he did well. So he's in good form, but somehow he hasn't played that well in this tournament for last 2 seasons at least. And because my expectations are quite high for him, and I think he's really really good. That's the reason I expect a lot more from Nicholas Puran, and that's where I think, I don't know, maybe they might look at promoting him, because I don't see him as a finisher though. I don't see him as a number 5. I see him more as a number 3 who has the ability to kind of pace the innings and actually run the innings. You know, so I don't know whether that number 5 really suits him, because I think he's more than just a finisher. His skill set is a lot more versatile than that. And like I said, last 2 season I've been quite disappointed, because I rate him really really highly.
hmm. Okay, another one that we have is a Prithvi Shaw versus Bhuvneshwar Kumar, a neck-to-neck fight, 35 runs, 35 balls, and 2 times out. I think Bhuvi has an upper hand in this. Vaseem, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bhuvi has got an upper hand. He hasn't, and there's not many bowlers who actually contain Prithvi Shaw. So Bhuvi has literally done absolutely well. He doesn't give you a lot of room to play those shots. I mean, Prithvi Shaw likes to open his arms through that offside, and Bhuvi doesn't let him do that, and he swings the ball with the new ball. And anybody swings at decent pace is hard enough. And Bhuvi obviously bowls that length where it's not easy to drive through that offside, and that's why probably Prithvi finds it hard to get going, and he'll find this SRH attack obviously quite tough to get going. I mean, looking at the pictures, I've seen Sean Everett being given a cap, Karthik Tyagi have been given a cap, and even Shreyash Gopal. So there are quite a few changes, looks like, in the SRH camp. So I wonder who's injured and who's been rested. So it's going to be interesting to see the 11, the final 11 that plays.
Absolutely. Well, that was the end of the Sky247.net. Have been tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. So any questions you want to ask the experts, please just use the hashtag not just cricket at CricTracker and Sports Eye handles. So that is that. So next, I'm assuming we have the fantasy, we have the social tracker powered by Sky247.net. Let's just see what the first tweet is. A big day ahead for David Warner against his former team, Sunrisers Hyderabad. I mean, this is what we were just discussing earlier on. Our next tweet is David Warner played just 2 matches against SRH, scored 8 runs with 42 strike rate, average 4. I mean, gentlemen. And the next one is, so I want David Warner to go berserk tonight. Man literally carried SRH on his shoulders for seasons, and with one bad season, they kicked him to the curb. Ouch. Oof. I mean, a lot of love for David Warner over there. Now, I think there's one more tweet. Okay, that isn't the tweet. So now we're going to take a look at the fantasy tracker powered by sky47.net. Let's take a look. And this is your team. Vaseem, take us through this.
Well, Karishma, I've got David Warner as a captain. No surprises there. He's playing against his old team, and that has been the trend. So you expect David Warner to come good. Prithvi Shaw, I don't know if he's playing today because I've heard that he's not available. So I'll replace him with somebody if he's not there. Abhishek Sharma is my other opener. He's been in a very good form. Ken Williamson at number 3. Rishabh Pant is my wicketkeeper. Rahul Tripathi is my vice captain. He's somebody who's got few low scores, and you expect Rahul Tripathi to come good. Aiden Markram, somebody who's been a very good form. Akshar Patel, my spin option. Kuldeep Yadav. So those are my fast bowling option. Actually, I couldn't see, but those were my 11, and I hope they give me a lot of points.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. That was our fantasy tracker. Right, quick update. Hyderabad wins the toss and they've opted to bowl. Another quick update is 3 debutants for them. Karthik Tyagi, Shreyas Gopal and Sean Abbott make their Hyderabad debuts. Deep, would you like to say a few things about that and your match predictions, both gentlemen? I can't hear you.
Sorry. Opting to bowl is not a surprise, but yeah, I'm just looking at that side. Obviously, you don't have Washington Sundar. You don't have Natarajan. So huge blows for Hyderabad, not having both, especially Natarajan, because obviously Washington Sundar missed out on at least 2-3 games before this as well, and they managed it all right. But it's going to be it's going to be a huge challenge. And Sean Abbott's there. See, the issue is when you miss out on one player, chances are you don't have a like for like replacement, right? So obviously Sean Abbott's come in because you're looking at death bowling and everything else. Then you've got to drop another overseas guy to get accommodated overseas. So it can get a little complicated when you have 2 replacements there. So obviously, so we might see Kane Williamson. I'm looking at the team sheet actually. Don't be surprised to see Aiden Markram open today with Kane Williamson at 3. But yeah, how I see it is huge blow for Hyderabad. Natarajan, Washington, both of them missing out. But yes, they've got decent replacements. I mean, Karthik Tyagi, he was brilliant last season. He was part of the Indian squad as a net bowler last 6 odd months. I don't know what happened and why he did not, play from the start of the season. But it's good to see him back at least. And then obviously you've got Sean Abbott there, who can bat, who's a bowler who can bat. So yeah, I mean, but they will definitely miss those two.
Okay, so Prithvi Shaw misses out for Delhi Capitals. Natarajan is injured. Washington Sundar got injured in the last game.
Yeah.
So that is just, a quick update. I would like both of your predictions, please. Theme.
Well, I think obviously with those many changes, it's surprising. I mean, even Mandeep has come in. Prithvi Shaw is such an important player in that lineup. He misses out. Akshar Patel misses out. Fizz misses out. And so does Sakaria. So you don't want that many changes. I mean, unless it's injury, which obviously is the case with Natarajan and even Washington Sundar. But you don't want 3, 4 changes in that game. So that has been a little surprise with Prithvi Shaw not being there. That does says a lot about what happened last time when Washington Sundar was injured. They played Suchit as his replacement, but because I think they've got 3-4 left-handers, they've got in the Delhi Capitals lineup. That's why I probably see Shreyas Gopal play. But it's going to be a huge blow, for the death bowling part, especially with Natarajan not being there. But I would back SRH to come good, to be honest. They've got what they wanted, and if they bowl like they have been bowling, and this is their happy place. They want to bowl first on that pitch and chase that down. So I'll back SRH to come good.
Okay, so that's Hyderabad and Deep.
Right, and I to be honest, I thought if Prithvi wasn't available, why not Case Bharat? I think Case Bharat is part of that Delhi setup as well. Because with Mandeep, I mean, as good as he's been around for a while, isn't it? I mean, he's already played a game or two already this season, hasn't done much. So I would ideally like to see Case Bharat, and he did all right last season opening. I mean, I said last season, 6 months ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously Nokia is back and everything else, but let me go with Delhi. Let me go with Delhi. Let's make this tournament more interesting and
I
the
think I'll
post show
go.
more interesting.
Yeah, let's go with Delhi. Before I let you both go, let's quickly take a quick look at the trivia tracker powered by sky247.net. So let's have a look. Which is the first Indian cricket club formed? Or which was the first cricket club formed? I don't have the answer. This is a very
Wasim would have. I'm sure Wasim knows this. Indian
Is it
cricket, not British, right? I mean, formed by British or formed by Indians?
What did I just read? I don't remember. Which was the first cricket team?
I think
Which is the
was
first
it
Indian
Chennai?
cricket club formed?
Okay, first
Cricket
Indian
Club
cricket.
of India?
I don't know what's the answer. Okay, it's
Orient.
Orient Club. It was
Orient Club.
formed in Mumbai, 1848, by the Parsi community at the
Right.
Esplanade Maidan. Okay, there we go. Tell us 3 rules of gully cricket, each without cheating.
Oh,
Gully cricket.
one tip, one hand. First thing that comes to my mind, one tip, one hand.
Okay.
Second would be hitting on the full, hitting the wall or whatever on the full.
Okay, makes sense.
So,
Huh?
Or
if you hit direct, you get a 6, doesn't it?
no, where we played, because we would play on street. We had houses, right? So on the full would be dangerous. Wouldn't get the ball and windows and all that. So for us, it was out. Hitting on the full was out. Yeah, and
Hitting on the
rules.
legs twice is out as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember that. Yes, because there used to be no leg before and all that, obviously. But yeah, hitting on your pads, I guess. Yeah, legs.
Okay, let's see the answers. So even I know what the 3 rules are. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm waiting for the answers. I don't know the answers.
But there can't be no answers, because gully cricket in
the most, not the person who knows the least amount of stuff.
Because I'm sure where Wasim played his gully cricket, the rules were different. Where I played, the rules were different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no
so
uniformity in that.
I think that was the end of the trivia tracker. We don't know the answer, but hopefully we'll know it at the end of this show. I'm wondering if we have a poll today. If we have a poll, can the poll please come on? And if we don't, I'll see. Oh, this is the poll. We do have it. Which spinner do you think will be Chahal's partner in Asia Cup and World T20? Ravi Ashwin is 41% and Kuldeep Yadav is 59%. Interesting. Food for thought. We will discuss this at the end of the game. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Thank you to our wonderful viewers. We'll be back on Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. And I have to say, it was a fun show for me as well. Thank you and take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.